Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 28th of January, now it's half past 11 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my channel in which I share latest updates on the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Before I start, let me ask you, if I may, to subscribe. If you are new, to hit that like button, leave some commentary and share information about my channel with your friends on internet platforms that you are active on. Of course, if you find my videos and my channel interesting, that will greatly increase my chances to reach wider audience. That's been said, let's talk about news now, and I will try to make this video as short as possible. And yeah, I will start, of course, with Ukraine, because special military operation is one of the main topics in Russian media every day, and probably not just in Russia. So yes, I will start with this publication on the Kommersant newspaper, which said that according to Ukrainian ambassador in France, Vadim Omelchenko, Zelensky's regime did receive official promise from Western states about deliveries of 321 main battle tanks. Of course, there is no way to confirm this information, but Kommersant is writing here about recent statements from head of Ukrainian armed forces, Valery Zaluzhny, who did ask Western partners of Zelensky's Nazi regime about 300 tanks, 700 armored personnel carriers, and 500 howitzers. Tanks probably will be delivered, although I'm not sure that they will be, all of them will be Western-made battle tanks. Majority of 321 tanks gonna be Soviet-era T-72s, T-62s, maybe even T-55s, modernized versions. That's my guess, but probably that's how it's gonna be. Western battle tanks, Ukraine may receive, at least for now, from statements that Western state made, we can guess that Ukraine may receive about 100 Western-made battle tanks, Leopard 2s, Challenger 2s, and Abrams tanks. But no matter what, these deliveries will definitely change not much for Zelensky's regime, because they are doomed, man, doomed to fail. That's my personal opinion. And I have some doubts about 500 howitzers, because Western states already did send to Ukraine more than they could afford, and some of them now openly are saying, Western states, that they have no howitzers left for themselves. That's how crazy they are, man. So let's see how this story with the tanks will eventually continue. But yes, this is one of the main topics in Russian media outlets for this moment. Here on TASS news agency, we have information that Indian air forces have lost two jet fighters, Su-30 and Mirage 2000, in some accident. I feel sorry for India, and same time, I do have some questions how they are managing to lose so many planes and helicopters every year, man. I just don't understand, man. If you check out on statistics, India in peacetime are losing up to 100 tens of jet fighters and helicopters every year in some kind of accidents. I never understood why this is happening, but it is what it is. And Su-30 is a very capable jet fighter. Mirage 2000 is old one, old generation plane, but Su-30 is new plane, and I mean, to losing this kind of plane in peaceful times, it's shocking. Let's continue. Here we have information. This is still TASS news agency that London may deliver to Ukraine some fighter jets, but this will happen after conflict will in Ukraine will end. Or if Russia will withdraw from Ukraine. So, to be honest, I mean, British Air Force, Royal Air Force now operating. I mean, they have Typhoon planes, Eurofighters. Basically, they have probably still operating some Tornadoes, and yes, they have a few on the new aircraft carriers. They have few F-35s, and I'm wondering what planes they're gonna send to Ukraine. Tornadoes probably, because they are too old, but those jets are basically bombers, more bombers than jets, because in air fight they will be destroyed easily, even by all the generation MiG-29s. Modern Russian jets will just obliterate them. So yeah, it is what it is, man. That's one more promise that London is making to Zelensky's Nazi regime. Let's go and see what other news are making headlines. Here we have that's quite interesting, and I will read this news for you. U.S. Air Force General Mike Minihan sent a memo to subordinates suggesting that the U.S. would soon be at war with China. That's NBC's report. And here we have quote, I hope I am wrong, this general is saying, but my intuition tells me that we will fight in 2025. This quote also cited by this TV, NBC. According to General, China will try to use the US presidential elections in 2024 to establish control over Taiwan. Note is addressed to all commanders of combat units in the Air Force. In it, Minihan also orders his subordinates to report on large-scale measures to prepare for hostilities with China by the end of the February. The general, in addition, urged the commanders to be more willing to take risks in the course of training. A representative of Air Mobile Command confirmed the authenticity of this memo. So yeah, now U.S. Officials, and the general is a quite high-ranking official, openly are saying that they are preparing for war with China over the Taiwan island. And this is crazy, man, because Taiwan is a part of China. It's none of U.S. business how Peking and Taipei will develop their relationships. And it's surprising that yet again, man, as I said in yesterday's video, it's surprising that society in the US calmly absorbing all this craziness that the elites are demonstrating, and society is passive, man. I mean, I don't understand because after all, U.S. and collective West hostility against Russia, for example, may provoke nuclear war, which will end modern world as it is, man, as we know. And China is also a nuclear power. So what U.S. and Western elites are doing is they are endangering citizens of their countries, man. Because nuclear war, this is not a joke, for God's sake, man, you know. War will just end if it comes to that. And Western societies must be too hyperactive in these times to somehow influence the elites to stop this madness. But yet again, only few people, I mean, only small number of people in US and in Europe, for example, are demonstrating demonstrating their willingness to act against these crazy moves that elites of the West are making. So this is interesting because I mean, if they now openly are saying that they're gonna fight China, go to war with China, probably that's how it's gonna end up being. You know, maybe not in 2025, but anyway, man, even if it's 2035, man, nuclear war is it's gonna be disaster, worldwide disaster, and we cannot allow this to happen. Just cannot. But yet again, man, I don't know, man. Let's continue. Let's continue. We have here information from Bloomberg. This is RBK News Agency that's citing Bloomberg's statement about yet another price cap that G7 countries will impose on Russian oil, this time on Russian oil products, on diesel and many other substances that are made from oil. And we have here some numbers. G7 countries are considering price cap around 100 or 110 dollars for a barrel of, for example, Russian diesel fuel. I mean, what can I say, man? What can I say? In the end, West probably will end up without any Russian energy supplies, and yet again direct supplies, and yet again ordinary citizens will pay double of amount that they are paying now, because they will still receive EU will still receive, for example, Russian oil, but from third parties, and this oil will price of this oil will be much higher than it is now. So, as I said, man, this is I mean, these Western elites, they are ideologues, man. They are crazy, and because of their crazy ideas, they are endangering all of humanity, basically. You know, all of humanity. Russian side did said many times before that it will don't sell its oil or gas to countries that will impose price tax. So basically, in this case, this is going to be answer on this development, I think. And one more news, and this is it probably for now. We have information here that legal team of EU send a letter to EU officials, EU member states, basically, that they can use for time being 38, right? 33.8 billion euros from frozen Russian assets, and they are saying that they did find some kind of legal way to do so. So they are stealing Russian money, man. EU officially stealing Russian money, and of course Russia will survive without this 33 or 300 billion that they did froze Western countries. But rest of the world is watching this. Rest of the world is watching, and every this kind of crazy move by the West gives more and more reasons to countries all around the world to stay away from the West and be closer and build closer ties with China, Russia, India, these big players that act much more adequately that West does, man. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Here we have Associated Press is writing that EU officials now are saying that Russia is shifting war focus to NATO. NATO not Russia did not shift anything. Basically, NATO member countries acting like they are in a war with Russia. So Russia don't have need to shift anything really. It's obvious for everyone, for entire world, that NATO is at war with Russia. We can say now proxy war, but it's still you know, it's still aggression, for God's sake, man. And as I said many times on my channels, man, if it was up to me, I will cut all ties with the West, including diplomatic ties, minimize diplomatic relations. I will call back all ambassadors, all Russian ambassadors from Western states, and leave there just minimal personnel. And I will cut economic ties with the West and let them survive on their own, man. Of course, it's bad that citizens of Western states will suffer and are suffering because of decisions of the Western elites. But after all, it's the, as I said, man, Western societies must be more proactive, you know, and do something about this craziness that happening in the West for decades now, you know. But particularly last 5-10 years, it's just total madness, man. What Western elites are doing and what is happening in the West, man. It's just total madness, man. And that's how, I'm sure that's how entire rest of the world is seeing this, you know. So this is it for now. I hope you find this video interesting, and if so, please subscribe if you are new, hit that like button, leave some commentary and share information about my channel with your friends on the internet platforms that you are active on. That will definitely increase my chances to reach wider audience. So yes, excuse me, this is it for now. If there is some big developments during the day, I will definitely make second video, but if not, then see you tomorrow. Take care.